wondering if you're asking yourself a question, how to prepare for Latitude 59, you're in the right place. Welcome to the How to Prepare for Latitude 59 podcast, series Investor Edition. Joining me today is Margus Uudam, a founding partner at Karma Venture Capital, and I'm your host today, Domenik Djatšuk. But before our conversation, here are some quick facts. The Latitude 2024 is happening on the 22nd to the 24th of May in Tallinna Kultuurikatel. There will be 600 investors from all over the globe and 120 funds with a combined of 120 billion euros of assets under management attending Latitude. You know, it's crazy. I haven't learned these kind of numbers in school. If you're an investor, you have the investor tickets, and you probably know that on the 22nd of May, there will be an investor day and investor dinner. You can assign the ticket beforehand and claim your badge on the investor day to avoid the queues on the 23rd. You can schedule the meetings in our Latitude 59 official app, as well as find side events, workshops, and an interactive map where you can find your investor lounge, VIP investor lounge. That would be a really nice place, and I really hope I could get in there too. And of course, the pitching competition. This year's prize is 1 million euro, and we're the only conference in Nordic countries putting out this kind of a big prize. And this 1 million euro is put out by Estban and Specialist VC. And of course, the opening of the Latitude Week is with EBAN Congress happening on the 20th to the 22nd of May, where all of the VIP angels of the world will come together, But without further ado, here's our conversation with Margus Uudam. Hello, Margus. Thank you so much for being on the How to Prepare for Latitude 59 podcast. It's an absolute pleasure. Latitude is on the 22nd to the 24th of May. How excited are you for Latitude on the scale of 1 to 59?
60.
60. Nice.
We work a lot together with Latitude as Karma Ventures, and we prepare a lot. So it's a highlight of our year in terms of partnership with an event. So very excited.
Nice. And each year Latitude has a mission, and this year's mission is connection and responsibility. So Margus, what is your responsibility as a founding partner in Karma Ventures, and what is the responsibility of Karma Ventures?
The both words are very, very big ones, and in some ways maybe redefined in our current era. And connection, we must understand we are a small ecosystem. And for example, connection is something that usually makes individual parts stronger. And for us, Latitude as a connection has been to build a stronger ecosystem for smaller ones internally and also externally. Latitude is very well recognized as definitely the best Baltic event for innovation and startups. And as well, I must say, it is regionally, like in Nordic and European scene, it is very well organized and structured. In terms of responsibility, there are many angles to it. And it might have many names. For some, it's impact investing. For some, it's ESG. For some, it's climate tech. But I think fundamentally, it is just better leadership. There was a certain style of leadership maybe 10, 20 years back. And leadership is redefined. And how good looks like in leadership is redefined. And significant part of it, of the change is responsibility. And I really look at it not through measuring one or the other KPI or to tick the box here and there, but I see it as the new leadership that's needed.
Nice. That is very deep. And Latitude is I think the 12th Latitude in the row, and you have been on Latitude as many times as Latitude has been out there. So what is your first memory of Latitude?
I also actually participated the first slush, and what I can recognize, they were so different, the first Latitude and the first slush, that it hardly connects any brain dots how it was. So I think, for example, at first slush, the main Finnish event, I think it was like 200 people maybe, while it's like, I don't know, 20,000 now. Yeah. So, but I think at the time when Latitude was started, there were quite competitive events in Latvia and Lithuania. And the question was, who is like dominating the Baltics? Not that it's important, but everybody wants to be the best. And I think it only took very few years for Latitude to become the dominant. It happened very fast that it became big. And of course, it's correlated with our startup ecosystem development, with a few success stories, and a lot of interest from European investors to come in and to learn more about it. It was very good timing for Latitude to grow big.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? What is this niche thing about Latitude that has given it the opportunity to become the biggest, as you said, the best in the Baltics?
It might be a very difficult question, because if you look at some of the largest startup events in Europe, you think they are so big that they are not any more practical. You might go, but you cannot capture it. Yep. You miss out most. Mm-hmm. And there are so many startups, it's incredibly hard to figure out. Latitude is super good in terms of its size and latitude, in a sense that you can really get most out of it. It is practical. You meet meaningful people, so you can capture it and you can feel it.
Yeah. So it's not too big, but it's not too small either.
Exactly. Nice. It's definitely worth to come over for invest. And we have done always like overview, one session, Best of Baltics, which features the kind of showcasing some of the most interesting startups in the region, and also introduce the whole Baltic ecosystem. So it is not necessarily only about Estonia, but it's wider. It's Baltics, it's Finland's, like Nordic countries potentially included as well.
Nice. And if you could remember a startup that you found on Latitude and invested in this startup, are there such examples?
To be honest, I think not. Startups don't born for Latitude. They born whenever the time is right. And most often we have met most of them before the Latitude. But Latitude has been, there actually has been in the past like active deal making at the time of Latitude, and negotiations of the deal at Latitude. So there are definitely memories of deal making, but most of all, it is about to catch up with many you have met before and to understand how it's going. Is there anything we can do to help? What's next when the time is right for us as well? So it's refreshing, everything on the scene.
Nice. So how many millions do you think will be negotiated in those 2 days?
Most of all, these events are preparations for negotiations. And it is very relative what million means. It might be a lot of money for pre-seed. It might be too little money for a round. So in that sense, it is more important how many new connections are potentially built that could lead to investments when time is right. Sometimes investors meet 4 to 5 years before they invest actually, and sometimes it takes time from startups to grow to be ready for the next round. It is important that these connections are made and these follow-ups will happen, that finally will make the deal happen.
Mm-hmm. So imagine I'm a founder of a startup. Maybe I have an idea. Maybe I have a concept. What are your suggestions? How should I approach you, investors? How should I approach, make meaningful connections that will last for a long time?
Exactly like we do it here, human to human. And I think in an ecosystem of LPs, which are limited partners who invest in funds and startups and strategics who acquire technologies and startups, everybody's equal. Everybody needs each other as much as they need others. So we need startups as much as startups need us. We are equal. And as Karma Ventures, for example, we look really for partnerships, which means we are equal partners behind the table. Even there is, of course, legal nitty-gritty that needs for the ecosystem to exist, but in a mindset, we are equal. And we appreciate most who, like for this podcast, we have done our homework. It is good if also startup, we do homework. We try to understand who to meet, who is relevant for us. And it makes sense for startup to understand what is our focus and to make sure that the connection is relevant. Mm-hmm. And very often we appreciate meetings early, not even if it's not relevant yet for us, but maybe 1 year from now, there is a round, we could take a look. We really appreciate these early connections with a partnership mindset.
Mm-hmm. So let's say I booked a meeting with somebody from Karma Ventures and we have, limited amount of time, maybe it's 10, 15, 20 minutes. So what should I tell you? What should I sell you, or should I sell anything, or we should just talk?
It would be great if during that time you could understand if we are the right partner for you. And it is really validating on both sides. And as soon as it gets to the kind of partnership discussion and validation, quite often when we meet potential investors to our fund, we try to understand first who they are. Are they actually the right partner for us? And sometimes it takes actually 1 hour discussion to understand it, what they focus on, and does it make sense to continue? So we really appreciate if we are evaluated as a potential partner, are we the right one? And if it looks like so, let's discuss what you do and how can we help as well. So quite often the meeting starts with blind pitching on the slides, but it's good to build a human connection first.
Nice. So human connection and evaluation from both sides, from an investor side and startup side. Nice. I think that's a great thesis that everybody from the founder and investor world should follow. And do you have any examples maybe from startups you have been going through for some years and they have been participating on Latitude?
Yes, I think in our portfolio we have several investments from Baltics where Latitude has been also the touch point, and I'm pretty sure there will be more investments where this Latitude will be the touching point as well. There are so many people, and very often I like actually not to book too many meetings, but to walk around, because then you are available. And so many times somebody says, hey, you should talk to this guy, or you should talk to this startup. And so I enjoy most these spontaneous ones as well. But of course, our team prepares and has structured approach as well.
Mm-hmm. So for all the investors, you would suggest that have some meetings booked, do some work, homework, but also kind of let the spontaneous things happen. Yeah.
Yes, and quite often these spontaneous ones are most targeted in a sense that you are available and something really relevant is potentially available to meet if you have time. So I always have free time as well on events.
Nice. So everybody, remember how Margus looks and everybody find him. Yeah.
Redhead, quite easy.
Yeah. So we have 50% of our guests, of Latitude guests, are coming from abroad. And many of them are investors, many are them from VC firms and so on. Be as patriotic as possible and please promote Estonia. Why should those investors come Estonia, or it's too much already?
We hear a lot, as Estonians, usually we are not good at promoting ourselves, but we hear back. And I lately had a very good meeting with somebody from big tech who has unit in Estonia. In his words, the work ethics, the innovative mind, hardworking culture. So this is something where Estonia really stands out. And I wonder where it comes from. And it can be really historic that we don't have resources to rely on. We can be just focused. We have, through the centuries, we have been forced to be innovative and down to the point. So I think this culture has defined us so well that this is distinctive feature or characteristics that most often investors or strategic investors will notice when we work with a startup from Estonia.
Nice. So I do believe that Estonian kind of unicorn factory is a unique place. We just talked that there were people flying from Estonia to Palo Alto, to have some kind of inspiration. But now we need Palo Alto people to fly back, to Estonia for them to have inspiration of how people can build multi-million or billion-dollar companies from nothing. And when we look at today's world, we have a lot of different things. We have problems. We have good things as AI. What trends or industries do you think our investors who are coming to Latitude should follow, especially this year?
Everybody's, of course, talking a lot about AI. And I wonder if it sometimes overshadows some of the real value. If you create fundamental AI solutions, it's a good place to be. If you use it, it's a different story because many others can use it. And the competitive advantage what you create is maybe less so. There is a lot around defense. Dual use, so-called dual use. What can be done more? And many startups are looking at this space. Climate tech might be even a little bit overheated, but definitely gets a spotlight too. So I think we are at a time where several verticals are super active. But during these times, there is also risk of bubble, and you should look particularly carefully what is it versus it is 1 out of 1,000 happening around the world. So many investors have turned now significantly towards deep tech, and I think even Estonian startups, many have been opportunistic and made massive success. Increasingly, we turn into deep tech based on the experience, what have come through the exits. So I think all this theme to freeze through the bubbles and find the real value is something we at least pay attention the most.
Nice. So I think a lot of people want to ask you, is the AI in a bubble?
Certain elements of it definitely are. Even the funding is less available. At least it looks like so. However, still the dry powder, the money waiting to be invested in Europe is at record levels. And everything where there is real value, where there is a good growth, the term sheets, valuations are competitive. So I think it's at the moment filtering out who is who for the next couple of years. And great precision is needed in these moments.
So again, homework from both sides.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And if we look at the founders today, you are founding probably a deep tech company to raise quite a lot of money. What qualities do you see from founders? What are the similar qualities in a founder that built deep tech?
Most often the founders are very technical by their background as well. And I have noticed that there might be, in a bigger categories, two type of founder characters in deep tech. Some who want to figure out all themselves first. Either it's technology, product, sales, marketing, and there is advantage that you know the best yourself, but you might not know the best marketing. You might not know best the sales mechanisms and scaling. And the other ones, they focus mostly on tech and the leadership aspects of the company, but they recruit the external talent fast. And sometimes, obviously, scaling fast, recruiting fast has many mistakes on the way, but there is big opportunity in it. So I think for technical founders, for deep tech founders, the question is, how far can I go with my knowledge and my trials in different verticals? And when do I need to really bring in professionals and trust that it works out? One thing I have noticed about great founder is they actually ask a lot of advice from different people, and then they decide themselves. And as investors, sometimes we might like to advise and the founder to decide as we advise, but that's not right. The right way would be to ask advice from many and decide yourself what is the right way. Fundamentally, the founder is taking all the responsibility to make it big, and nobody can make better decisions than founder.
Nice. So I will take your advice and ask you for advice. Let's imagine there are a lot of, 18-year-olds, who are just finishing high school, and they're kind of interested in tech. They're interested in building their own companies. What do you suggest we, the 18-year-olds, do when we finish high school? We go to university. What do we study? Or we go get an internship, or we go work in a startup, in a big firm? What do you suggest?
If you look purely statistics, absolutely. By statistics, most companies are founded actually by 35, 40 year plus. In deep tech, there is certain experience needed to figure out what could be different. Out of university, out of high school, most often very opportunistic startups, which are might come out as successful ones. And there is a benefit of not knowing how to do, what to do, how to lead, and this leads to innovation. The benefit of working in some startups, working in certain deep tech areas, you understand better the market. You understand better where the risks are and where the opportunities are, and you might have better understanding how to scale. Both ways are potentially right. But some outliers have been born from just straight out of university, having energy to do it. And there's been also very many failures based on that because of inexperience. So everybody should feel what is the right risk level I want to take, and how strong is my mission. We pay a lot of attention at the time when we invest why founder does what he or she does. And it goes to incredible stories. I think finding true answer, why am I doing it? And sometimes answers might be just fun, or others are doing it as well. This doesn't give very much energy for difficult times. But if you're on a true mission, if the mission is very clear what you want to achieve and why, it gives a lot of energy. It attracts talent. It attracts competence. And this is massive advantage. I think the more clear you are why you do what you do, then the more free you are to choose when to do it.
And that means you need to first start with why, yeah? You first need to understand yourself. But if that mission, if that drive is money, is it the right why?
This is incredibly difficult question, because if it's money, then whenever I feel this startup will not make it, I switch to next one. I might get too little energy to what's needed if the motivation is only money. If I want to make someone's life better, if I want to change something in the world in a meaningful manner that I really believe in, this gives you energy for growth, scale, also difficult times, and works potentially significantly better than money.
Nice. I think I will definitely take that advice. And, we see Karma on Latitude 59 on the 22nd to the 24th of May. Karma is located on the second floor in the matchmaking area. There will be Karma workshops, as well as the Karma Run, the official side event of Latitude. Margus, thank you so much for being with us today, and see you on Latitude.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Enjoy the Latitude.
Thank you.